Hey, it's Hazelle.
It's Azura.
And I'm Germaine.
And welcome back to another episode of Celebrities Podcast.
So today's episode is very exciting because it's a continuation of what we discussed last time, a work-life balance in Korea. Who better to tell us than the co-founder of Love Bonito, Rachel Lim?
Hi everyone, thank you for having me. Really excited to be here with all of you and really loving the energy here, soaking all of that up. So if there's anything at all, please just ask me. I'm happy to share everything.
Okay, we're gonna hear some tea.
Yay.
Piping hot tea. First and foremost, I need to say something on behalf of my co-host Azura. She whispered to me just now, I really love her pants. Are they Love Bonito?
Are they?
But of course, come on.
I'm gonna look for them after this.
Yeah, no, actually the interesting thing, you brought up pants, right? I think just a little backstory, if I may just share. Yeah, because when I first was in school, right? Fresh out of school and was looking for a pair of pants, I also realized that, hey, a lot of the pants don't fit me. I thought it was because, I had bigger hips or I'm too short. And it wasn't until we decided to create our own pants that I realized that, oh my God, a lot of international brands actually create primarily for the European American women that have very different body proportions than us, right? I mean, I would highly recommend, for you to try our pants because they're created specially by real women for other real women. So yeah.
Co-founder is a co-founder, man. Look at that. Amazing. No, but I mean, I'm sure we've all tried Love Bonito's clothes before, and we remember when it was Bonito Chico.
No way,
Yes.
How old is
Secondary school.
That's right. Because when I co-started Bonito Chico, I was already like 17, 18. So I can't imagine.
Sorry, you were 17 years old?
Yeah, so that's what Bonito Chico, right? So that's why our age gap is
We were probably younger than that. Yeah.
not that far, but
Wow.
secondary school. Okay, so that was a live journal platform.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
way back when.
They were modeling themselves.
That's
I
true.
re-
You are right.
Yeah.
I was hoping that no one will notice that, but yes, you are right. Yeah,
And
we,
it was
we
more
did
like
everything.
like a fun kind of thing. An
Yeah, it
interest
was
with
more
friends.
of a passion project where we really wanted to sell our pre-loved clothes online for extra pocket money. So that was how it really started. And then after a while, we ran out of clothes to sell, but people kept coming back for more. So we thought, why don't we use the money that we had saved to go overseas, like Bangkok, Hong Kong, to import clothes to sell during weekends or school term break. But while doing that, I've always realized that there was always something with the quality, the fit, the design, the color, the detail that I wanted to change, right? So in my final year of university with no fashion, no business background, decided to drop out of school to co-start Love Bonito. Really with the intention of, understanding the needs of real women out there, especially in our part of the world, Asia, right? Asia. So yeah, that was how it really started. That's why we always say we are a bunch of real women creating for real women like ourselves, where we really understand the needs, the concerns, the pain points, and more importantly, we wanted it to be accessible, right?
That's right.
Pocket friendly. We believe that a great outfit, first and foremost, should not burn a hole in the pocket, and secondly, a great outfit really has the power to make you feel better about yourself, and and how you conquer your day.
I really love that. It's been so many years and you guys still stay true to all of that. And I feel like I'm in the presence of a star. You guys know why? At age 28, Rachel was on Forbes 30 under 30.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna cross 28 next year. What am I doing?
No, please. I really just think it's a matter also of timing. And I think everyone's path is different, which is why this journey is also so personal to me, right? I think for me, it's been a journey of really discovering who I am, who I'm not, not trying to fit into what society wants me to be. And then really embracing all of myself, my strengths, my weaknesses, which I have a lot of, and really just partnering up and working with people much smarter than me in different areas and being secure in that, being secure in who I am, and just running my own race. I think especially with social media, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of comparison, and a lot of the times I find myself questioning myself, especially in the past, right? Like, why am I not like that? Or why is my journey not like that? Why does success not look for me like that? Why do I, even down to looks, right? Why don't I look like her and things like that?
You're
So-
beautiful.
Oh,
You are beautiful.
absolutely.
Thank you, but it was a journey also, to get there and embracing myself and all of that. So yeah, that's why I truly believe that all of us have a different path to success at the end of the day.
Exactly. And at the end of 2020, you actually have a whole new role in life, being a first-time mom.
Oh, yes, yes.
Congratulations.
It's a new season. Thank you.
How is little Ollie doing?
He's great. I think at this age now, I think as other moms can tell it. I mean, they are always telling me to enjoy this moment because he can't run and walk yet. So I'm not having
Can he
so much of
crawl?
a hard time. At his age is meant to be able, but he hasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying not to be too pressured or
No,
stressed.
like you said, it's
about it.
timing, right?
Yeah, that's why I have to
Everything's about
remind
timing.
myself that everyone has a different path, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, right now I'm just enjoying being able to be with him as much as I can, especially during this special new normal, right? Working from home, not being able to travel, especially for work.
But it's so commendable that you are running a multi-million-dollar business, and you have the best of both worlds. You've got a kid and all that as well. Does it take a toll on you some days?
Yeah, I mean, it really takes a village, whether is it to, run a business or, take care of a family. So at home too, I really have great help to take care of Ollie so I can focus on work. And at work, of course, I have a great team, so that at home I can focus on Ollie and my family. So yeah, it really takes a village.
Yeah, I think a good support
easy.
system is very important.
Yeah, and being able to let go, I think that it's also key.
For sure. And I think, when it comes to this day and age, a lot of women, like for example, Hazy, Hazy has mentioned before that she would choose her career over a relationship or family at this time. Then some women, are opting to have children later, some
Yeah.
earlier. I think there's every kind of woman out there.
And there's no right or wrong,
Exactly.
right? I really do think it's a choice, right? Because all of us go through different seasons. And there was a period I really felt exactly like Hazy, right? I put off having a child for a while because I was afraid that, having
couldn't
a
commit.
child, I couldn't commit as much as I wanted to. And, it might cause me to take a back seat at work. And I felt a bit of anxiety, like what's going to happen, things like that. But I guess don't be pressured unnecessarily by society or, people around us. I think it's important to take time to be attuned to your inner desires, your inner goals, your inner values, and then stick to it.
I think that's exactly where I'm at, where you're thinking of having a kid, but you don't really know if I'm married, by the way. So, it's always been on my mind.
Yeah.
Like, can I put it off for later?
Yeah.
Should I put it off for later? Is it gonna affect anything if I do it now?
Yeah.
And seeing you right now, because you had your kid last year,
Yeah.
was there any considerations? Did you plan that? Okay, I was gonna do this and this first, and then this will come. Or how did you eventually decide that what, this is the time that nothing else, I can let go of other things and just take this role on now?
Yeah, that's a great question. And for me, I think a lot of things had to come into play, right? Firstly, I also learned that, as much as we want to plan our lives, a lot of times no one could have predicted, for example, COVID to happen. That truly disrupted everything, even for myself, right? Like all my plans went off the window and you had to pivot and readjust. I do feel that the goalposts will always get further. And, the more I put off having a kid, I think I might end up, just for me personally, I feel that I might end up regretting one day. So I felt that I was at this stage in my life last year where I was ready to take that leap of faith, which was, I must say, pretty scary because as much as I read up, researched, spoke to people, I think you can never truly prepare yourself for it. But I think what comforted me was always knowing that, there is no perfect time. And as long as, I have 70% of everything prepared in a sense where the team is more or less ready, I feel like at home, we are stable enough. My husband and I are at a good stage of our marriage and relationship where we are ready to commit to having a kid together. We don't know exactly how it would pan out, but we are ready to take that leap of faith to try. So I think things like that really requires a lot of conversations with different stakeholders, whether is it your team,
The sperm donor.
oh, you might call that your baby daddy,
The
baby
baby daddy.
partner. Yeah. So yes, definitely with your partner, and of course, at work, right? I think, and for myself, it was through the leadership in the team.
That's amazing. And I don't know about you, but for me, right, I always have this idealistic thought in my head that when I finally cross that bridge and do that, the whole motherhood thing, that I would be able to not let go of what I have right now and still do that. That I would still be able to do whatever I want and not have my life revolve around the kid, but have the kid's life involved in mine. So that's the idealistic view that I have.
But it's not impossible. I do think, and that's a great point, right, babe? I do feel that there are certain values that we hold true to, or like you call them ideals that we hold true to, that I think as long as we are not too emotionally attached to them, like you lose sense of the bigger picture at the end of the day, right? I do think as long as you keep that in mind and understanding that it's continuously evolving and progressing towards that, maybe being 2 steps ahead of you in this journey, right? I can share that you will surprise yourself in terms of, after having a kid, I also realized, what's really important in life, which was actually quite different from what I thought previously. You will surprise yourself with your capabilities and just, how much you're able to take on, how much you're able to prioritize and be productive with the time that you have, right?
But I think it's interesting that, Zura brought up this anxiety of hers where you're thinking, when am I ready to be a mother? Am I willing to give up parts of my career? Do we have to? I think a woman's role has changed so much in society these days. We go out there, we get what we want. Yeah. So my question is, can women have it all? 1, 2, 3?
No.
Wait,
depends. Okay. I think, right? Can women have it all? No, maybe you guys should share first. Yeah.
Okay, so I think even after marriage and kids, my career can take a backseat, but I can just not let go of it fully. So I can still be in charge of both sides, So that to me is having it all. Okay, granted, the amount of commitment I have will have to decrease, but I can still be involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I agree with Hazy, where, the parts of the things that you do, because you have to spread yourself slightly thinner, so it might not be like a full here and a full there, but you can still do a little bit of this and that. For me, they have that
triangle.
Yes. Yeah. Where, it's
social, work and sleep.
correct. And for me, the
Wait,
first
what Gen Z triangle is this?
It's a triangle, right? So at each point is social life, work, and sleep. You can only choose 2. What would you choose?
Oh, wait, you're continuing first. I'm so interested there. I'm learning so much. Yeah.
And for me, I think they would know this, but for me, the first to go is sleep. So I feel like I would forego that to have everything else.
Social life
now.
and work.
Before you have a kid. Yeah.
When you have a kid, it becomes a square. Right, yeah. I think same sentiments, exactly. But the thing is that my worry is you only have 24 hours in a day. You cannot take on everything. Something has to give, but I'm not willing to give it up. I still want it all with a kid.
Is that why you say it's not possible?
Rachel, tell us it's possible.
Like I said, we all go through different seasons, and I do think that we can't have it all at once.
Okay.
But maybe at the end of your life, you realize that, yes, you have it all. You have a great career, you have a great family, you have great relationships, you have great sleep, rest, which is very important, by the way, self-care.
is.
But what I'm also trying to say is that, and this is what my mentor taught me, right, about the analogy about glass balls and rubber balls.
Oh,
Okay.
We only have, like you said, limited amount of, whether is it energy and time, right? And you can only juggle certain amount of things, right? To be able to juggle well. And there are some seasons in your life, certain aspects are made of glass where you cannot afford to drop, because once you drop, they shatter and it's hard to piece them back together. But in certain seasons, there are rubber balls where you can't afford to drop momentarily or temporarily, because you know that even if you drop it, it will bounce back. And for me, maybe at this season, it is, for example, parts of my work and career, right? Where, you also leave it to the team that you brought in, who are smarter than you to also run it in that sense. So being able to determine and recognize what are your glass balls and rubber balls in the different seasons. And even though you all might be in the same life stage, it may look very differently for you. And there's no right or wrong. And I think what success would be is really in recognizing what it is and being willing to let the rubber ball drop for a bit and then pick it up later. But what's most important is not to compromise on the glass balls, right? Which once you let it go, well, it might never be the same again. Yeah.
I'm learning so much.
Yes, I also learned that's
this
why.
analogy is
It's the first time I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
Struck something in
assuming
me.
a baby's a glass ball, right? It's the biggest glass ball of your life, right?
Oh, well, okay. To be honest, for a period, especially in a newborn stage, where also I felt that I was trying to adjust to this new role and everything. By the way, when a baby is born, a mother is also born, right? And for me, that was powerful because it's the first time in my life where I feel that I have a lifelong responsibility that and like you say, yes, it's a glass ball forever, but I think in different seasons during that period, right, I think also for me to settle into myself first and really take care of myself in that sense, because if I don't take care of myself and I'm
can't
not
take care
well,
of you.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what they always say about the oxygen mask in the
Yes,
plane, right?
yeah.
You have to put it on first before you put it on for the person beside you, whether it's your child, your husband, your mom.
Absolutely. Like when you're a mother, you still have to take care of yourself first. It doesn't mean that your whole life is for your child.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of new mothers struggle as well.
Yeah, and always recognizing that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint, right? I think I really need to keep giving throughout the life. So it's not just for the first 3 months and that's it, right? So I think that's why you have to keep taking care of yourself and filling your own tank, and then filling the tank of, you and your husband. Because a lot of times, when you talk to other friends or you hear stories that actually the marriage suffer, which by the way, I saw a glimpse of that, right? Because we're all just so busy trying to take care of the newborn, adjusting to the newborn, and being frustrated at each other, because this is so new for both of us as well. So recognizing what are things that you can't drop.
Oh, I'm so glad that we are having this conversation now. Like we know what is in our future and what to expect. But for right now, I think we are at such different stages of our life. Hazelle is proudly single.
Yep. And
Are
very
you ready to
available.
mingle?
Honestly, not really.
Not
That's
really.
okay.
Yeah. I think I'm not ready for that yet. I'm still putting career first.
But if I were to ask you, Hazy, who are you? How would you describe yourself?
I am a radio DJ. I am someone who loves to socialize. I am a daughter, a sister, and hopefully a good friend.
Very good one.
Yeah, no, that's great, because I do have a lot of friends around me, and that I've also watched and are very successful, by the way, now in their careers, that were like you also, very young, they gave their everything, and there's no right or wrong, it's just a matter of choice. And now they're trying to devote parts of their time, of course, to other parts of their life while still excelling in their career. So I have really seen that side of success in that. And also the other side where, sometimes where they feel so void, where their identity is just tied to their career, which is just something that, which is great. Your answer also shows that, you're beyond your career. And
I try to get over it. So a little background story. I just broke up start of 2021. So this year has really been different for me, right? And I have so much time to focus on my career, and it's never been like that before. So while I want to give it my all.
Yeah.
But I don't exclude the possibility of, meeting someone else, talking to other people. I think it's very, very important as well.
yeah, that's great. I think, like we say, where we go through different seasons,
That's right.
transitions in life. Yeah, it's a choice at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think Hazy recognizes that in the end, if you do get married or you have a child, your priorities will change and you're okay with that.
Yeah, for sure. My career will take a backseat. I will not let it go,
Yeah.
but it will take a backseat.
Yeah.
And
It's your
I would
rubber
wanna-
ball for that season.
Yeah, exactly. And then my family will become my glass ball.
I see. Wow. So for Zura,
Yes.
who is married, you mentioned a couple of episodes back. I'd love to remind you about that. That you're married. Huh?
About what did Azura say?
No, that she's married.
Sometimes I forget.
So you mentioned that when it comes to having kids, if it happens, it happens, right? Do you think that your career is sort of holding you back from having a kid now, or what is it?
I think it's just sort of at the back of your mind, you feel like I'm only in my 20s once, and it constantly feels like you are sort of in your prime. And you lose it now, or if this becomes your rubber ball now, that you never have this again. That's what it feels like for me. But I understand, I see it now, because I've been married for 2 years now. And when I got married, I said, oh, okay, I'm gonna, hold off having a kid for 2 years. But now that I'm at 2.5, I'm like, maybe I need another 2. So I recognize now.
So the goalpost keeps moving further.
Exactly. It keeps moving further, and I recognize that, I'm at 27, that I think, 2 years ago I thought I was at my prime. Now I think I'm at my prime. Another 2 years, I'm
I
going
can
to think
tell
I'm
you,
at my prime.
my husband is 48. He thinks he's at his prime. Babe, there is no right or wrong. No, what I'm trying to say is you will forever think that you're on your
Right?
Yeah,
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
So that's a good thing now.
Yeah, because you work hard for yourself.
Yeah.
That's why you always think that you're at a prime.
Yeah, but I think that whenever you have a child, you will make a great mom.
You will.
Oh, yes,
no
you
doubt.
will.
We will make great godmoms.
They will make great
Self-declared.
godmoms.
Self-declared.
Or self-say.
Definitely. I think personally for myself, I've been in a long-term relationship for many, many years
We're just
now.
waiting for the ring now.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Aww.
It's okay.
I don't think it's okay. It didn't sound like it's okay, but that's the next episode.
When I was young, right, I don't know if you guys had this idea also. When you were growing up, I thought, okay, 25, I'm gonna get married. 26, I'll have my first
Yeah,
child.
I know.
28, I'll have my second
Come on,
child.
please. When I was younger, I thought that the age that I'm in now, which is I think 34,
Yeah.
or about whatever, is ancient, is like really old. But now I'm 34. I'm like, oh my god, I haven't reached my peak, or I'm still in my prime. I'm still in my prime, babe. But so it's really different, right?
Yeah. So like, the plans just went out the window. And at this age, I realized, what am I planning for? Like, just live life. When I'm ready, I'm ready. You know, at this point in my life, I can't imagine being a mother. If let's say I touch wood, oh my god, everybody touch wood for me.
What touch wood? Good thing what?
Yeah, but touch wood
That's
for
a
what?
good thing.
If I'm surprised with a baby,
Right,
yeah,
right.
I would, of course, I think I would be able to,
Handle
settle
it.
into that role,
Okay.
But by choice,
You wouldn't
wouldn't
yeah.
want to choose being a mom right now. Is that bad to say? No.
Okay,
right?
what if
Bad to say.
Exactly. What if he proposes now? You guys get married in 2022,
Yeah.
and you find yourself with a baby in 2022. Would you be ready for that?
Oh, next year.
Then I'll have to jump into it also.
Next year is just 1 month away.
From the point of recording is 1 month away.
But actually, what my grand plan is? It's to get engaged, have a kid, and then when the kid can walk down the aisle, then we get married. We're cute, right? Then
But is that his plan also?
I think he's okay with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, the ring is ready.
Then
The
what-
ring
what's-
is ready.
then
Yeah.
What are we waiting for?
What is the wait for?
So what is the wait for?
No lah, don't pressure him lah. He feels so
but
bad
the ring
already.
is ready.
The ring
Okay.
is somewhere.
So
Yeah,
sweet.
it's somewhere.
Aww.
But eventually, when I do become a mom, I really hope that I'll be able to juggle the different aspects of my life. Yeah.
I'm sure you will. You will need a very strong support system through your girlfriends, your family, then your team. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Now, for Rachel, I mean, you have, basically, I feel like you have the best in life right now. Do you feel that way?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like you've
Your
got a
good career,
child, successful
your family,
career,
yeah.
family.
No, okay, wait, but it's different. But I am very grateful for what I have in life, which I have worked very hard for, and also have had to overcome a lot for.
Are there any regrets in your life right now?
Well, I guess for me, I always look at them as lessons. There are a lot of lessons I've learned, a lot of mistakes that I've made in my journey that I have learned. And people always say that, we learn from experiences. But I really don't think so. I think we only learn from reflected experiences.
Right.
That means in really taking the time to sit down and be honest with yourself and be brutally honest about what happened. Why did you feel a certain way? What truly caused that, and is it something that you can learn and improve from? It's like, in my life, for example, I believe that two persons can go through the same challenge or event or failure or mistake. But why is it someone would come out defeated, depressed, and victimizing themselves, or the other person can come out
Feeling like he or she can do better next time.
exactly like, even though it's a mistake, it's a failure, but you feel prouder of yourself and what you've overcome. You feel more confident in, and stronger in that sense. So yeah, I think taking the time to reflect has also really made me, I guess, who I am, in a sense where I feel like I'm a lot stronger mentally, emotionally to take on more challenges. But although I don't hope for more challenges, but but yes, in that sense, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Would you have done anything differently, or would you have advice to people who are going through the same situation as you?
I would actually say that I wish that I had taken the time to discover and know more about myself earlier. And that's in the form of being conscious of, what drives me, what makes me happy, what would I feel excited doing all over again and again, even though I'm so dead tired, And also on the converse side, right, what would drain me, right? And things like that. Because these are important things to know and notice about yourself, because it will determine the next steps or path that you take. It will determine also the people that you surround yourself with to complement you. The other thing is also to be secure in who I am and who I'm not. And a lot of the times it may come through feedback from people that you have to intentionally seek out, or you pay attention to the feedback that you get, or also through personality tests, which help me a lot.
Oh, yes,
you know,
yes,
like
yes.
The 16 personalities.
Myers-Briggs, Strengths Finder, things like that. They really help me in a sense that, this is why I'm like that. This is why I was wired like that. This is why I frustrate certain people, or this is why certain people frustrate me. It's not because it's a personal thing, but it's just because we are all actually wired differently. And it helps you understand yourself a lot more and helps you also understand others a lot more, right? And I think that has been key for me also in really then doubling down on my strengths. What can I bring to the table that would really truly make a difference? I truly believe that all of us have a superpower, right? We are born with a special gift and talent that is something that we can do far better than someone else. And I do think that that is our gift to the society, our gift to life, our gift to the people around us. So that's one thing I wish I had spent a lot more time on earlier, because then I went through a lot of years, comparing myself to others, being very insecure in a lot of things, and it showed up in very different ways, right? And I wish that I would not have wasted so much time in all of that.
I think self-reflection is very important, understanding
Self-awareness,
who you are in this world and having empathy for other people as well. It's very, very important. And I think when it comes to like careers, it's changed so much since, how do you say, like our parents' generation. In their generation, I think a lot of women didn't really have an option. They had to stay home with the kids. And people always say like, oh, you just stay at home with the kids, you're just a housewife. I'm sorry, but a housewife is someone, or a homemaker, holds so many roles.
By the way, I find that a homemaker is a different calling, and I really respect full respect for them. I do think that actually if my calling is to be a housewife, I'll be so afraid, because I think that's not an easy job at all, by the way.
It's a 24-hour job.
Exactly.
You're a chef, you're a chauffeur, you are everything all into one.
No MCs, no leaves.
Oh, that's true. Even on your sickest days, you have to show up and be there. But I think in our parents' generations, I don't know about, you guys as well, but I would love to hear, what was your mother's role in the family? Did your mother have a career and take care of the family? Or what was it like?
So I think for me, I take a bit after my mum. She has 3 kids, so my elder sister, me, and then my younger brother. But she still goes to work. I think she's the kind who just can't sit at home and do nothing. So she definitely would not be a housewife. If you have tried her noodles, you will know. I'm sorry, mum. But she's a great mom. She provides for us whenever we need tuition fees, whenever we need money to buy textbooks. She will never say no, no matter how hard it is on her to be working outside. So for this, I really, really appreciate her. And I think I want to be this kind of mom as well. I want to be there for my kid. I don't have to cook for my kid because I can't cook. But I can make my kid happy. I can still bring in the money, the tuition fees, and everything like that.
But did you feel like you had to be independent when you were younger?
Well, I remember when I was 6 years old, my mum had to send me to the kindergarten, right? There was one afternoon she was putting me to sleep, and I was holding her hand. I said, Mama, don't go, okay? After I wake up, you must still be here. You cannot go, you promise me. And then my mum said, okay, I promise you. I pack you to sleep. You go to sleep first. Next thing I knew, I woke up, she was gone. I bawled my eyes out. I cried so badly. I felt like my trust was betrayed. Like, Mum promised me that she wouldn't go, but why did she leave in the end? It wasn't until many years later that I understood that she had to go to work. But I still felt hurt. I still feel hurt lah. And to this day, I'm 27. I can still remember what happened that very afternoon. So to a certain extent, I'm sure all mothers don't want to do this to their kids also. Am I right? They want to be there, but what to do? You have to work. You have to work. But I understand lah. I understand. And I'm
now
fully
that
okay
you're
with it
older,
now.
you understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Rachel, what about you? Like, how is your mom like? And do you take after her a lot in that sense?
Well, I definitely hope to take after her. I think my mom, it has been the backbone of the family. Back in the earlier days, right, my dad had his own business too, and he was going through bankruptcy. And my mom had to work 2 jobs to support the family, to pay off the debts that he had and things like that. And through it all, I saw her, keep her joy in life. It's so tough, by the way, where we all had to move out of our 4-room flat to stay in a 1-room flat, really just in 1 room together as a family, just so that we could save money and also make ends meet in that sense, where every time it was to a point where we will walk past the Bedok. There's this very, very famous ban mian, right? And to us, we can only just walk past and admire and just wish that one day on on a Christmas time or something, once a year, we can just have and enjoy a meal like that. And really through it all, she kept her joy, she kept her faith, she kept being so strong for the family, and she kept the family together. And actually, it was during that time also that I decided to want to drop out of school to start the business. And because I had a bond with the government, I had to pay off a 5-figure sum to the government. And of course, I didn't have such money at all. I had to go to my mom, to ask, can I borrow money from you so that I can pay off the bond to start the business? And obviously, she was so skeptical and cynical because back then, especially online shopping isn't like what it is today. She kept asking me back then, like, will the government come after you? What's going on? Like, why are people transferring money to you before they see their goods and things like that? So, and that after that, she told me was actually her entire life savings that she had. And she decided to take that leap of faith with me. That I guess, I will never forget when she handed me that check and with tears in her eyes. And that was when I told myself, I can never fail because I will never want to let my mom down. So, I mean, through it all this, right, I think for me, right, my mother has really been my source of strength. And through the greatest challenges in my family and with myself. So, you guys.
Oh my gosh, it's so touching to hear.
And like, no matter what went on in her life, like, she never put that on you guys, her kids.
Yeah, she never. And that's also why I guess now as a mom, I feel so much responsibility because how you are as a mom or as a parent directly affects your kid and how they turn out. Right? And as a kid, I also remember looking at her and drawing so much strength from her and learning from her, right? Yeah, and that's why for me, the responsibility as a mom, right now I feel so there's a lot of pressure in that sense, but yet it's such a beautiful thing that you are able to make a difference and impact in someone's life in that sense.
That's amazing what Rachel just said, because I think a couple of days ago I just had a conversation with a friend, and this friend told me, so this friend just had a baby 2-3 months ago, and this friend told me that now having this role, they've realized that you can't do anything to mold a child, that you think you can work on the child to mold them, but the only thing that you can do is to work on yourself.
Right.
And
that's beautiful, yet scary, but so beautiful.
But your mother is amazing.
Yes, she was my living example of that.
Speaking
Shout
of
out to
strong
Rachel's
women,
mom.
wow, I mean, honestly. I mean, Zura, you have a very strong mom. And we always say that, your mom is someone that, like, single-handedly, brought you up into the amazing woman you are today.
Yes.
Right? So, did you actually have that conversation with your mom ahead of, our episode here today to ask her, do you regret having me?
I always tell her that I am her greatest gift.
present.
It's
Oh
true.
my God.
She waited 8 years before she had me.
Oh,
Yeah, so...
and are you the only child?
I'm the only
Oh,
child.
you truly are a gift for her. Yeah.
And Aaron, my husband, always says, wow, there's a reason why God only gave her one, honestly.
I'm sorry. You're what?
But yeah, so my mother brought me up single-handedly since my dad disappeared when I was 6. And at that time, so we were living overseas, and then we came back, and then she raised me. She had her parents at that time as well to take care of, and she was working to support me, right? And I know that she was very cash strapped because she was the only working person, but there was never a time that she would say no to me. She still made sure that I had music classes, that I had swimming classes, I had everything I needed for a good future, or what she felt was a good future.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So she was kind of like juggling all of that, not just taking care of you, but her own
Correct.
parents as
Her
well.
own parents as well.
And she had to support everyone.
Correct.
Wow. At that point of time in your life, did she ever, confide in you, or like did you ever see that part of her where she was so stressed out?
It was very hard for her, I think, to express what she was feeling or to just explain the situation. She never really sat me down to tell me what was going on, but she had always very silently just, continue to work hard to make sure that everything was in order. And because of that, it was also very subconscious for me to not ask her certain things that I knew was going to upset her, because I knew she was holding that part as well. So for me, it was also like I'll just do whatever I can to, fill in the spaces that she needed help with.
Wow.
I think that's gonna have a huge impact on you when you,
Become a
start your
mom
own
yourself.
family.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. I think I have a very vastly different experience. I grew up in a privileged household, and you know, I've been very open about it, and I'm very grateful for that as well. At the point where I was born, my dad was not doing so well. Like he would come home and say like, oh, I have no money for milk powder, that kind of thing. But he like, you know, made a name for himself. My mom was working at the time, 2 kids, right? Me and my brother. And she would always tell me this story. Till this day, she would tell me, yeah, you don't remember when you were 5 years old, right? And I was working at office job, right? You would call me at 5 p.m. using the house phone, asking, Mommy, where are you? I miss you. Can you come home? Every single day, I would be calling her, asking her, and telling her I miss her. And I think that kind of like tugged on her heartstrings, right? And she felt like she didn't want to miss out on watching us grow up. So she decided to leave her career and she's the ultimate mom in the sense that she really has her shit together. She not just like runs, you know, takes care of the kids, but she runs the household. She takes care of everything on my dad's side as well. And I saw someone, one of our producers actually put a note here saying, you know, she had to be very independent and take the bus herself to school and back while watching her friends' parents roll up in cars and stuff like that. That was me, I'm so sorry. That was me. No, but she was amazing. Like she, even on the days where she felt so sick, she would wake up at 6 o'clock to fetch me to school. There was no off day for her.
Wow.
And wow, I owe my life to her. Honestly, I owe my life to her.
Mama Jo.
Mama Jo.
Yeah. But I don't think she regrets her decision at all. Like, I think after we had grown up, she had found her own things to do. She's also helping out with the family business. So she has like a very wholesome, balanced life. Yeah. And I think we need to realize that there's so much of life ahead of us, right? It's not just when you have a kid, that's it.
Yeah.
When your kids grow up,
it's a different season.
Life.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So in about 20 years,
I'll be sitting with you guys again. And we'll be
sipping tea.
Hopefully with our kids. And
exactly. But I mean, question for the floor, right? Would you guys have, let's say, preferred that maybe for Hazy that your mom would have been home?
No.
Oh.
No. I think this is her decision that made her happy and also made me into the independent being that I am, I think. Yeah, so I actually appreciate this decision a lot.
I think, you know, Rachel and Azura both were in very different circumstances where it was not a choice. It was not a choice. And all the more you respect them for that. Right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
sure.
I think growing up as well, I always wished that she was home a little bit more. She didn't work like very late. She made sure that she was always home by like, you know, 6 or 7 by the time I was done with school. But I just wish that I think a lot of my friends also at that time, they had stay-home mothers. Yeah, so I wish that, you know, I would see her when I came home, but there was no choice there, right? Now she's retired. I see her at home every day.
You're complaining. It's a different story now.
Every 2 days, she asks me, so what drama should I watch
What
now?
you wish for, babe. You see?
Exactly.
I have a question for Rachel.
Yeah.
Of course, there are both good sides and bad sides and ugly sides of being a working mom. Like, tell us the full truth. Like, are there days where you feel so stressed, like, I just want to be with Ollie, I don't want to work?
I mean, in my experience so far, I mean, yes, for sure. I struggle, right? There are days where, especially it's so unpredictable, another human being who cannot control, in a sense, is not an adult where you can control your emotions and all that. And there are really days where it's so tough. You don't know what to expect. You know, he's just so uncomfortable, or he's going through certain developmental leaps where he himself obviously does not know what's going on. And especially with working from home, I always say it stresses me out a lot more because you hear him cry in the middle of a meeting, and I find myself being so distracted and so worried. I mean, it's natural, right? I think it's also a bit of a maternal instincts that I feel like I cannot focus. And the worst is if I'm giving a presentation or I'm going to speak soon, I find myself so torn to a point where there was one meeting I was almost in tears because I could not cope, and I had to just take a breather, step aside for a bit, calm myself down, and then just show up. I decided to show up for the presentation, and I felt guilty, like, did I make the right decision, or, you know, am I being a bad mom because I chose, you know, to continue with the presentation versus, you know, going to check on Ollie and things like that. I guess there will always be 101 questions and doubts, and I would beat myself up over it too. But I guess for me, it's also recognizing that that was the best decision that I could have made, and it was already made, you know, and to forgive myself and move on and not let it, you know, affect me in that sense. So having a time limit, I will always call it, to beating myself up, regretting, being upset and victimizing myself and things like that. And then just deciding to just move on and make the next best decision. So actually, I have this little trick that my husband actually not taught me, but he used on me, right? So there was one day where I came back and I was so defeated at work, and I just slouched on the sofa and the cushion, and he was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Why are you like that?" And I was just like, don't talk to me. I'm just, in my heart, I was throwing myself a pity party, victimizing myself, regretting, So what he did next was, he just took out his iPhone and set a timer, right? And he said, once the timer beeps, you have to snap out of it. So of course, when the timer beeped, I was like, oh my God, I snoozed a few times. But I realized that is a habit that I still use until today, because it forces me to snap out of it, right? There is a physical aspect to force me to snap out of it. I have to literally get up, take the phone, whether snooze it a few more times or just stop it. And I find that it helps me move on, because I am not sweeping my emotions or frustrations under the carpet. I am addressing it. I give it time, whether is it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or for bigger things, I give myself longer, like 20 minutes and things like that, right? To really mourn over it, to feel upset, to cry. But after that, I force myself to snap out of it and move on.
Easier said than done, actually.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because like you put a time limit on it, you have an end goal, you see? It's not just wallowing in sadness
because sometimes,
forever.
right, like I realized it shows up again 2 weeks later. I'm like, oh my God, it's still here. I find I didn't address it properly or like throw it a proper funeral and mourn over it, right? And it's bad because especially if it accumulates. One day if you snap at whether is it your coworker, your husband, your family, and you realize, oh my God, it was because this is accumulated, pent up, frustration. So that's been something that's helped me.
I see. And I think earlier you mentioned as well when you were talking to Hazy, and there's a concern that if you live for your career alone, that's going to affect you in a way where there's nothing else that brings you joy in life. You don't have healthy relationships, friendships and all that around. And I think experts have also warned that just solely living for your career alone could have very negative impacts on your health.
Point noted.
For all workaholics and Hazy.
CC Hazy.
Please go home at 8 p.m. today.
But I think it's also where definitely you need to live not just for that, but find other things in life that fulfill you. Even as a mother, you need to have other things.
It's true. And that's why I asked Hazy, who are you as a person? Because our identity is beyond our title,
career.
our roles, my business, and to me that has been important in recognizing it as well, that even if one day, something were to happen to Love Bonito or it's gone, I am not lost as a person. I still know who I am, and my identity is not tied to how successful or not Love Bonito is, right? And I think that's important at the end of the day, because your businesses, your career and things like that, they are just vehicles, at the end of the day, that you exercise your gift and your influence on.
But I did want to touch on the fact that you said working from home was quite it was quite a challenge, and I think it's a unique situation that because of the pandemic, a lot of moms are working from home and sort of have to shelter taking care of the kids and running their careers at the same
especially
time.
those who have to do home-based learning. My goodness, my heart really goes out there. That's why I say I'm still very early where I would dare to say that maybe it's nothing in comparison to what they have to go through. Home-based learning, maybe not just one kid but 2 kids, 3 kids. I tell you, it's really crazy.
While working at the same time?
Exactly, while working at the same time. It's really pretty insane.
Honestly, when it comes to moms who do it all, like work from home and take care of the kids, we really, really respect you guys so much.
And then hold the family together, it's really not easy.
But I really do hope as well that in this day and age, we realize that it's a shared responsibility to have kids, and it's not just on the mom, to cook, to clean, to take care of the kids.
You always hear the term working mom, but you don't hear working dad, right? It's like that's a different episode.
Or like stay
altogether.
home
together.
Exactly.
But I just wanted to touch on something real quick. It's a little bit different, but a couple of episodes ago, so we spoke about having kids, like your biological clock just ticking, and for you, do you plan to stop at 1 or do you plan to have more?
I grew up with a family of 3, right? 2 other siblings like Hazy. So, and I grew up with a big family, with cousins, extended family, about 16 of us. So I really love it. And my wish has always been that I will want 3 kids.
Okay.
But of course, this, like you say, is a shared responsibility, and I need to speak to my stakeholder about it. So, well, my husband wants 1 only. I guess we have aligned on at least we'll try, if God willing, that we'll go for 2.
We hope that happens soon.
I know. And already I do feel that as we age, kids aside, you know that firstly your metabolic rate goes down, your body aches easier than usual, and things like that. You're weaker than usual physically, right? So I do feel that yes, that's a real concern. But I guess the more I delay, maybe the worse it gets for me. So yeah, that's why I also want to hopefully keep the gap as close as possible, because there's also a lot of school of thoughts out there where, okay, the age gap between, the first and the second has to be at least 3 years for, about things like that. I mean, there are a lot of school of thoughts out there, right? And for me, it's to also, take all of that while not being pressured by that, and then looking at our own situation. Yeah, also because my husband is 14 years older than I am. So while, of course, the man does not play too much of a part in that sense, in being a sperm donor, your age does not really matter too much, but in taking care of a kid,
Exactly,
it
the
affects
physical toll on him.
the physical aspect and the energy, right? So yeah, I mean, that's also what I hope to be able to close the gap as soon.
Wow.
Okay, well, thank you so much
Very
for sharing
honest
so much with us
conversation,
today.
yeah.
I think we've learned so much, even though I'm not a mom myself, but I have learned so much from you, Rachel. Thank you.
Yeah. And I mean, we are not in any place to give advice for working moms out there, because we don't know what it's like, right? When we are in 10 years, Hush season 24, we'll tell you. But I did want to share, some stuff that our team actually found online that could be helpful for working moms. So they said that you should try, or if you're more career driven, right, make the most out of your career. Do your absolute best before you settle down.
Exactly.
Then you kind of leave with no regrets or lesser regrets.
This is fully what I think as well. And if you're choosing career, don't beat yourself up over it. It's a steady flow of income. You get more freedom for now. You get you are able to just go out, socialize, there's recognition, there's career growth, and also you can set healthy boundaries for yourself, your partner, and your children in future.
And you know what I've learned from, speaking to Rachel today as well, is also that while, we said earlier that you can try and do as much as you can before you have a child, before you settle for a family, before you commit to this. But I think what I learned as well, that life does not stop there. That, even with a child, you may have to, change things a little bit, that some things were glass, now they're rubber, but, it doesn't mean you have to let go of it completely, that you can still sort of work yourself around it. It doesn't mean that your life ends when you have a kid.
Yeah,
No,
it does-
not at all.
absolutely not.
I think life starts when you have a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Aren't you so excited for the future?
Do I look excited?
You do. You have so much joy and energy,
Thank you. I'm excited also because I actually told my husband, for once I actually realized that there's something more important than work. And that's a huge revelation for me. I mean, also learning from all of you and your stories on the impact our moms have had in our lives. This role as a mom is, beyond just, running a business, profit and loss and things like that. It really affects how a child would turn out. And this child, at the end of the day, the influence and impact that he or she would have on the rest of the world and the people around him or her. So yeah, to me, I think this is a exciting stage of life, and really excited to also, if you decide to to take on this new season of life one day, being a mom, I think excited to hear from you and learn from you, on what you have learned, what you have discovered about yourself. Actually, through this new journey and season, have learned so much about myself also and my husband. So it's really exciting, and yeah,
We'll have fun, I'm sure. When the day comes, we'll all have fun.
Might be sooner than later. No. My shop is not open yet.
With that, thank you so much, Rachel, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I really had so much fun.
Us too. If you like this episode, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at itsclarity.co for more updates.
That's right. Listen to all our episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you consume your podcasts. If you need visuals, it's on YouTube as well.
Hey, if you want to see the pants that Rachel is wearing,
I'm going to buy after this.
Bonito.com. But yes, make sure you turn on your push notifications as well so that you know when a new episode is up.
Once again, I'm Hazel.
I'm Azura.
I'm Germaine.
And I'm Rach.
And we'll see you on next episode of Clarities. Hush Podcast.
Hey, she did it with us. Yay! Every day she's just crying watching K-drama.
Yes, she calls me up crying And she goes, oh my god, this show is so sad.
Oh my god, hilarious.
This is what you wanted.
Yeah.
You want it, you got it.
Now I can't complain.
Yeah. See you on next episode of Clarity.